Got it. All right, everyone. My other computer, there we go. I've got two screens. One's running really slow, so I can't actually see many of you at the moment, but I am on camera. I don't know if you guys can see me, but I'm also on this camera. This is the one where I will be doing all of my drawing. So for those of you that are new, the rules are everyone's been muted, and if you have a question, you use the raise hand function in Zoom, and then myself or Peter will see the hand raise, and then we'll ask you to unmute and then ask a question. And then at the end of that, I'll mute you again and we'll go back to the lesson. There is a chat room, which some people are in there chatting now. And just be nice in there. Don't bully anyone. Don't start trouble. Don't spam people. Just be nice and we'll get along. Otherwise, you will get a warning. And then if you receive a second warning, that's when you will be kicked out of the class. So we'll be drawing here for about an hour. So about 7:15 we'll be done. And today I was just going to draw a couple of, well, it depends on how much time I've got, but just to draw, because last week we did hatching and things like that. And so that was a bit full on. So this time I just want to draw something fun. And if you want, you can ink it and hatch it. You can color it and things like that. So I don't have a set topic. So in the last class I was drawing some chibi stuff, but you guys are a bit older. So I think we'll draw something with a bit more detail in it. Actually, I might draw the same thing, but because last time we drew this Hulk, the chibi Hulk. So why don't we draw a more detailed Hulk? A bit more, pardon me, but a bit more anatomically correct, a bit more muscle. And then the second thing we drew in the other class was a Rapunzel. So we could then draw something more along those lines. We'll draw a male and a female today, if we have time. If not, we'll do that next week as well. All right, so let's start off with the Hulk. Remember the skeleton. We'll try and use that and just some shapes. So I'm just trying to get a look at my page, trying to think where he's going to go, what he's going to do. Maybe he's sort of like in this one where he's yelling. Maybe that's like his shoulders and his head's yelling here. So he's sort of like, oh, with his arms up. So there's my head that I'm going to work in. So this is just rough. So we've got something on the paper, something to work with. So that's sort of his rib cage and his shoulders. So these are the shapes that I want you to try and get down onto the page. And just press lightly. It doesn't have to be perfect and smooth and hard, just really light. And then I'm just going to put stick figure legs in like that, and stick figure feet for now. His arms sort of do sort of lifting up and flexing like that. So that, if you can see that in the page, that is what we're going to use as our basis for the drawing. So if everyone can get that down, and then we'll start fleshing it out. What are people doing in there? Stop emojing, everyone. Yeah, you don't need to spam the chat room. Just there to chat or to ask questions or just say hi to each other. Okay, so I'm going to start off with his legs. Again, my screen's frozen, so I can't see anything if anyone has their hands up or anything at the moment. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to thicken up his thighs, just sort of ovally shapes either side of those stick figure lines. Maybe a circle for the calf muscles. So this one, because the leg's sort of facing the front, you're going to see the calf muscle on both sides, and then it will taper down to the ankles. See how that leg's starting to take shape now? Because I'm pressing a little bit harder as well. Still not final detail. But on this one, because the leg's sort of side on, put that kneecap in there. The calf muscle is at the back, not so much at the front. And then that tapers down to the ankle and the foot, the heel, like that. So there we go. We've already got his legs roughed in. Show where his pants are sort of going to end up. We'll draw some tattered edges to those. Then we'll come up to the waist. That's the stomach area where you can draw some abdominal muscles. Again, I've just roughed those in. Back to the rib cage. Sort of up to the arm, but I'm going to find the middle of this chest so I can draw his pectorals in. So sort of rounded squares on the chest, and that goes up to the armpit. And I'm just going to slow down a bit, just did go a bit fast there for you guys. There you go. I'll give you time to catch up. Let's see how you go with that one. Looking at who's in the room. If I can drop out and refresh. Just wait for it to drop out. Okay, so hopefully keeping up to me. If there's something you want, just write it in the chat and hopefully I'll be able to see. Because I can't see the screen at the moment. Okay, so we're going to move back up to the arms. Let's work on this arm first. So we're going to get in the shoulder there, work that up, join it up to the pectoral muscle, shoulder muscle, and then bicep. And at the back of the bicep sort of fits in there. We have the tricep, and that becomes the elbow. So shoulder, bicep, tricep, elbow, and that comes up to the forearm, just sort of thicker in the middle there. Actually, I'll make that a bit thicker here as well. So there we have the forearm. Actually, I'll see if I can just. All right, does everyone want to hold up what they've got? Because I can see on my phone. I can swipe through. We got Kai, Kieran. I can't see who that is. Lily. Okay, I can see you guys sort of now, but only 3 at a time. So do you want to hold up what you've got so far? Let me have a look. See how you guys are going. I saw myself. Kai, it's looking good. Yeah. You're not Bianca today, you're Kai. What about Kieran or Lily? Do you want to share what you got? Oh, there you go, Lily. Cool. Yeah, good. It's working out. Yeah, if you do have your background on, you will have to turn it off, otherwise I won't be able to see. Sorry, who was that? That was Josh. I just saw that one. Do you want to hold that up again, Josh? Cool. Yep, good. Good work. All right. Now let's get back to oh, Liam, hi. I didn't see you there before. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this hand now. I'm going to zoom in a bit. You can see it. Okay. So I'm going to angle this hand out. I'm drawing the top of the hand. So this part of the hand. So that's very good. Let me see. So he's going to be doing a fist like that. So what what I'm drawing is this part of the hand, not the fingers or the thumb, just the top part. So that's what that is there. So on this end, you'll see the knuckles. You could draw 1, 2, 3, 4 knuckles. They're usually a bit curved. Oh, I've got to actually take my glasses off to do this one. So small. And I'm also looking at the screen on my phone. All right, so I'm just getting that side of the, oh no, hang on, which hand is this? This side, you're actually going to see this, the fingers curled up. So that's what I'm going to draw next, is this finger curled up like that. So this is the little pinky finger coming down. So that's the knuckle, and that's the first joint, the second joint, and the third joint is in there like that. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, curled around. You might see the next little finger there. The thumb's on the other side. You might see the thumb, maybe. No, let's not draw that. Okay, so there's one hand. And I think I want the forearm to be on top of the bicep here. So I'm going to rub out the forearm. Rub out the bicep. You could do a little, show a little bit of a muscle in there. Under here on the bicep where I drew that circle, you don't see a full circle. You see the curve on top. And then maybe just a little bit of the muscle underneath. So I just do like a shaded line. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. So I'm just going back down that arm and rubbing out construction lines and things. And down here is the rib cage. It comes up like that. And that's the other side of the rib cage. So you could see some lumps of the ribs and things in there. If you're going to draw him without a shirt on, like Pog usually is, you might see a nipple. Okay. So before we go to the other arm, let's come down to the abdominal muscles. Now you notice there that I've cut it in half, and then I cut it in sort of a low half here.
Sorry, Evan, we got a question from Shashwari.
Yeah.
I'm going to unmute her. Sorry, Shashwari, can you unmute?
Yeah. Who are we? No, I mean, what is a nipple?
A nipple is on the chest. Everyone has 2 nipples on their chest. Okay, back to the, thank you for that anatomy question. Back to the abs. So everyone has, like, you probably had a 6-pack. So what I was saying is I put a line down the middle and a line this way, roughly in the middle. So that dot there is roughly where the belly button would be. And then if you want to put muscles in for the rest of them, just divide it again. Sorry, at the top. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now these lower ones go all the way down to the groin. But if you want them to look muscular, then you just sort of curve them out. Give them some shape. Put a little curve on the top, because there's actually 2 more right at the top. So instead of having straight lines, you can have curved lines. So see, I'm not joining them all up. I'm just putting curves in here and there. And it looks like muscles. So you could, if you did want to like join them up, then they'd look like a very muscular person. If you wanted them just only did like a couple of faint lines, then it looked like someone who hasn't got a lot of abdominal muscles. So depending on how much detail you put into them, shows how muscular the person is. But sort of around just under belly button line is where we're going to put in his pants. So you don't really need to do abdominals lower than that, even though they do go all the way down. Okay, so you could draw in his little button and his zipper. Just give it a little bump in it like that for a crease in the fabric, because the material gets pulled and sort of legs are slightly apart, and then creases up from between the legs where the legs bend in your sort of your hip area and down the front. And then we'll come down. You can straighten the legs a little bit for the pants, and then just make them jagged, do zigzags or curves or scalloping, whatever, just to make them look ripped and torn. Put a little shading in there. And that's sort of it. Oh, well, so that's it for the legs, but we haven't drawn the feet. So we'll come back down to the feet. This is turned up. Okay, people ready to do the feet? Okay, so this foot is facing forward. I don't have anything here with feet that I can show you. Anyway, so I'll just use my hand. This foot is facing forward, so the toes are going to be forward. This foot is to the side, so the toes are going to be to the side. That's why this one's a long triangle, and this one's a short triangle. So we want 5 toes. The big toes, like your hand, the thumbs are basically big toes, so they're always in the middle. So with feet, it's the same thing. The big toes are in the middle. So you just draw a bigger sort of oval there for the big toe. And then do 4 more, but then get them slightly smaller as they go. Simple as that. You can draw the toes going back a little bit. Put the knuckles in if you want to add a bit more detail. Have them curling around a bit like people's toes do. You probably want to put a little bump in for the ankle as well. You could also draw in a bit of a toenail. One just looks like I colored it in. And then those toenails, you could actually even draw on the other toes if you want to do that much detail. Okay, so let's move to the other foot. Now this one, we're going to see more of the different parts of the foot. So the ankles here, it comes down to the heel. And then the arch of the foot. So under the heel, it curves up a little bit. And then after that, you have a curve the opposite way for the ball of the foot. And that's sort of the same as this part of your hand. Hang on, let me just hold the camera up and points in. The ball of the foot is like this bit where it's under your big toe and has this sort of pad here. When, you know, our hands used to be feet and we were monkeys. So that's sort of what we're doing there. And then we have the knuckle and then the big toe with the nail on there. That's sort of a side-on foot. On the top, some people, not everyone has it, but some people it's more visible than others, is this little angle like that in their foot. And usually from that point on is where you can see the, they're called phalanges, I think, are the bones in the hand and the foot. They go down to the toes. But then you might also see a couple of little toes in there. Just draw them real small. Actually, now looking at it, my foot's very long. Probably could have cut it off about there. Okay, so let's move back up to the, well, before we do the arm, let's do the face. Try to get my camera to sit straight. Oh, not falling off. My clamp wasn't going to stay today. Bend. There we go. All right. So we have the face, the space where the head is going to go. And we want to do his head sort of going back a bit, like he's screaming into the air. So I'm going to sort of put his eyes up high and back. I think I've got everyone back. Nope, guess not. Okay, so I'm going to give him squinty eyes. So his eyes are closed. I'll go really close to this. So just little curves like that, but I'll add little creases underneath, maybe even on top, so that his looks like his eyes are squinting. And then angry eyebrows. Sorry, that was out of the page, but I couldn't see around my camera. I mean, out of the shot. So thick eyebrows in the middle, thinner on the outside. Like that. I'm just roughly going to put in where his nose might go, because it's going to cross over that high. But because his nose is up so high, we're probably going to see nostrils. I can't see my own drawing. Let me just rub out some of that. And I'll put those nostrils in again. Down there. Need a sharp pencil. Take this small bit. So I'm just going to draw around that nostril. And so all of this is going to be his mouth. Sort of stretching open. What was that thumbs up for, Kai? What did I do right? Everything? Sure, yeah, I'm great. So there's the bottom of his mouth. I'm just going to sort of curve this around. Like that. It's a bit of an awkward shape to draw. And I've chosen to draw his head at a very awkward angle. And then, so I'm going to have his teeth showing at the top. Here and then going down. And his teeth at the bottom, you maybe just see like a row. But in the top, at the back here, we're probably going to see a few of his like molars and things go back there. Maybe a tongue. Okay, we're almost done here. We should have time to do another one. Okay, so his ears are going to be sort of along this line where the eye goes. The ear's going to be somewhere here. And then down from that is where the jaw is. Sorry, I got to turn this around. His jaw's going to come down and then across for his chin. And then it's going to come up to his cheek, which is just below his eye, like that. And now that we've got this part of the ear and the neck, we can actually put in his neck. His ear and his neck, his ear and his jaw, we can actually put in his neck. So his neck's going to come down from back here, but then it's going to sort of jump across and join that shoulder. Rub out this one here. And you could put in sort of a bit of his throat lines in there. Then that neck bulge is going to be on the other side. Up there. Can be even. That means his shoulder's going to start from about there. Okay, so the back of his head now. I'm going to come back for his forehead now. His head's tipped back, so you're not going to see a lot of his head. Sort of going probably roughly that much, probably a bit more. I was drawing it at an angle, so I couldn't really see it from above it. I can see that, so it needs to be a bit more head. That. And so you can draw some hair on him. Bit of a side bony area. Could have some hair coming down forwards. Make sure the hair's not flat to the head. You want to give it some space, some volume, and then just color that in. And then we're going to quickly do the other side. So this other arm, we're going to do it basically the same way we did the first arm. I'm just going to turn this around a bit. So what about that original shoulder area I did? Because now that we put the neck in, I know that the shoulder is here. And that shoulder point, as you can see on this side, this is the shoulder around here. It joins to the pectoral. So this part of the shoulder here has to join to the pectoral. This is other nipple for those who don't know. Okay, so the next thing was bicep, tricep. So on this side, bicep, tricep to the elbow. Do some shading under the bicep instead of a full circle. And then with the forearm, it's thicker at the base and thinner at the wrists. So I'm finding my thin wrist and then I'm sort of working it down into that muscle. Working that down to the elbow, the muscle there. So with this hand, we're also going to see the pinky as we do on this side. You'll see the pinky on this side, but it's at a slightly different angle. So this time, before when I did the hand, the first thing I drew was the top of the hand. This time I'm drawing the side where the pinky is all curled up. So there's the first knuckle. There's the first section of pinky. Second and third. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the little pad underneath that. So that's the pinky all curled up. Looks like you've got a tiny little tentacle hand. But what we're going to do is then draw the next finger. You could even draw the 1, 2, 3, 4 knuckles, and then start drawing the fingers coming down. It's 2. But if you do a fist, look at your fist. If you make a fist, we're seeing those 2 fingers, but then the thumb is cutting across. So we've got those 2 fingers. Now I might actually draw the end of the thumb, sort of coming in like that. Show you a bit closer. And then I'll draw in the other 2 fingers. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So see them all in there. And then the back of that thumb, the base of the thumb is going to come down around here and join up to that, which I drew a little too thin. Just going to rub that out. So that is pretty much Hulk. You could do some yelling lines coming out there. It could be glowing with gamma radiation. That is pretty much it done. So I'd like to see, let me see how many people I can actually get up on screen. A few. I think, Sashvati, have you got a question, or was that before? If you have a question, feel free to unmute and ask the question again.
Is he Hulk?
Yes, it's Hulk. Like this guy. I got this little Lego guy.
Oh, he looks cute.
Yeah, that's why we drew this one before. This little cute one. Little cute Hulk. But you guys got to draw a more realistic Hulk. So now that that one's done, we're going to draw another one. We'll draw a female character this time. But do you guys want to hold up your drawings and let me have a look? If you do have nice face, Kai. Looks like Homer Simpson. That's great. Lily, I can't see yours because of your background. Is that Richard? That's cool. Let me see. Liam, that's really good, Liam. Well done. And Sydney, that's great. It's really good. Let me see. Abdul, that's really cool. Oh, wow. Sasvati, that's great. Trying to see, the names are really tiny on my mobile. Is it Antara? I can't even see that to read it properly. That's really cool. I just saw when it was this one. I was going to say, oh, that's good. That's mine. I think that counts. All right, let's go back. Cool. Let's go and start another one. Okay, so new page. So we have about 20 minutes, I think. All right, so we're going to do a female figure this time. Let me see. Who should we do? We did a princess last time. We did Rapunzel. I'm trying to think of another character we could do. Oh, maybe we could do Samus. Samus Aram? Metroid? But I don't want to make her too revealing because she's in a skin-tight suit. Or we could just do her in the metal suit. Why don't we just do that? Okay. Excuse me. Shanzita, do you have a question? Do you want to unmute and ask a question? But for Samus, let's get started with some shapes. So we'll have a round circle for the helmet. And then the chest shape is, it's a bit pointy, but let's just do a whole bunch of circles, I think, to start off with. So that's going to be the chest. See how this has got sort of a point here? It's going to be sort of a pointy section, the front section of it. I'm hearing someone who is unmuted. I don't know who that is. And then she's got big shoulder pads. Again, they're not full circles, but it's sort of going to cut off about there. And then one on the other side behind her head. Same thing, it's going to be cut off. Actually, it's going to cut off like there. They come up when they cut off. So that's her head, her chest. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was out of the page. Sorry. The head, the chest, and the two shoulder pads. Oh, wait, no, because I had to move it up so I could see it. I didn't realize it was out of the camera. Okay, so then her waist is sort of smaller and down here. And you can join that up with sort of like an hourglassy kind of figure. And then her legs. I'm just going to do the legs as stick figures for now. So this one's going to come out this way and down, and there's a foot. The other one is coming sort of this way. And this foot's got to be lower than that one because it's closer to you. Okay. So curve there for the calf, curve there for the calf. It should look something like that so far. Okay, here's your feet, here's the body. So she's got this arm is, I'm going to do this also in stick figure, it's coming down. And just draw a dot so you can see where the elbow is. And going back up to this forearm. Because this one has a cannon on it. So it's coming down to the elbow. Lily, you got a question? You want to ask a question?
Who are we drawing?
This is Samus Aram. She's a video game character from a Nintendo game. This is a big can. I'll show you a picture of her in a actually. Hang on. There you go. That's what she looks like. That's what I'm drawing. And that's what she looks like out of her suit. Oh, hang on. Like that. She wears this sort of skin-tight blue suit underneath this armor. And that's who we're drawing. So Put that back in there. Okay, so this bit here is the big cannon. So you can sort of, I've drawn like the end of it as a little, like the opening of the cannon. I think just for now, we'll just curve it to a bit of a, I don't know, an almondy kind of shape. Round it off at the end. She's basically a space bounty hunter. But in the first few games, it wasn't revealed, I think, until the very end, that she was actually a woman, because there weren't very many female video game characters when she first came out. So it was a big deal that it was a woman in the suit, and everyone was playing a woman at the time. Okay, so we're going to go back to her helmet. I'm going to zoom in a little bit there. And I'm going to divide it up the way we always do to try and find the middle, which is curving sort of this way. And this next line, it's not going to be where her eyes are, but it's sort of the top of the glass part, the visor part of her helmet. So it sort of goes back like that. And it comes right down to the bottom here. So let's see, it's going to curve around like that, and then go down. So then it's going to go to the same on the other side, but it's going to be tighter and smaller because of the angle. Sharpen my pencil. Okay, see how much of this we can get done in half an hour. I mean, not half an hour, 15 minutes. Okay, so that's sort of the shiny bit of a helmet. You can double line that to make it look like it's got an edge to it. And then even on this side, give it a bit of a double edge. I don't know if that's visible. And then coming from the bottom of the helmet, down here, there's a pipe that runs back up to an earpiece. So I'm just going to draw that earpiece on first. And it's sort of visible on the other side as well. So then from that, okay. So sort of draw a little edge on this bit. And a curve might be easier. And then the pipe runs along the bottom there. And I'll just draw this other one in, and then I'll lift it up to show you a bit clearer. Okay, I'm just going to rub out a little bit of these construction lines. Not the one that goes up the top there, because we need that. We go around the helmet. Darken that up a little bit. Put in that middle line again. Oops, not all the way to the end. In the front of a helmet here, it curves and joins up. And then from the corner of her visor, it comes back like that too. So inside here, you can actually draw her eyes. That's where her eyes are visible. If you really wanted to see them, usually it's just shiny and green. Okay, so the next thing that's sort of on top, closest to the viewer or the drawer, which is you guys, is the shoulder pad. So we're going to draw that next. So we want to keep that curve that we first drew in. And actually that comes down to a little straight section there. And this bit I drew here actually curves around. Go. Okay. So there's a bunch of detail on this. So firstly, there's a circle here and it's indented, so we're going to do like a little edge to it. Like that. It's a little green glowing button. Actually, it's not a button, it's an indent, like a rivet kind of thing. And then going around, so here, and then up, and then across, and then down. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Oops, 1, 2 on an angle, 3, 4 down. So one across, one up on an angle, another one across, and then one down towards the circle. And on 3 of those bits, I'm going to draw little holes. Just little angled holes. Angles all the way up. And there's one here that I can barely see, so I'll just sort of fudge it in. I could draw a little edge on this side. And even onto this curve, you can draw a little edge. It's like the underside of that shoulder pad, underside of the curve. So instead of everything being flat, it actually has a thickness to it. Okay, next, I'm going to draw under this little tab bit, a triangle with the end cut off. Let me just rub out some space. So that's a little end cut off the triangle. You can draw 2 lines up from that. Let's just do it all the way up like that. And then you can draw the edge of the triangle up. Okay, so coming off that triangle up this way, we've got just another little section of armor. Just to make it easy, we'll just draw some lines. You can do that little angle on them as well if you wanted. And so that's going to then be the start of her arm coming down. She's just going to draw, know where her elbow is. I rubbed out that line, but I still can see where it's going to go. So there. And sort of gets thicker at the top, curves around a bit. Like that. She has a little section in here, little line. And then we're going to draw in a little bit just to join those two together. There's a little bit I'm shading so you can see it. There we go. Okay, so there's no way we're going to finish this today, but we'll try and get at least her arm, the top part done. So I'm going to go to the end of her arm, and there I'm going to draw 2 curved lines. This is basically the sleeve of her armor before her hand. And then I'm going to draw back towards the elbow. But I'll leave the line there. I'm just going to rub out the body, just so it's a little clearer. So that line I'm going to use as the bone on the inside. I'm going to draw either side of that. So her arm's going to sort of come in a little bit like that, and then out again. So at the wrist, it's wide, and it's going to come in, sort of here. It's going to come in, and it's going to widen out again. So, and she's got a little elbowy bit that's sticking out. So it's coming in a little bit there. And then this bit gets wider again and sticks out past. Up there, and this one is going to start here, come in, and then stick out again. And it comes over the top. If I rub out that elbow joint. Going to come over the top of this one and then join up to that. So this one joins up. But here, it's sort of, she's got a little bit of an elbow in there. Then there's some detailed bits. The little point, the curve of the muscle. Oh, that's it, just those 2 bits on her arm. So let's put in these chest details. There is, it comes down to a point. Maybe we had the point at the front of the body there. Point probably about there. You want to curve it back up to here. Try and get that in there. Angle of the photo, angle of the camera, I mean. And then it goes back up to here. Now we can see the inside section. Put some shading in that, just so we know it's the inside section. There is some detail in there, but it's a bit hard to see. It's a bit dark, so I'm just going to color it in. Now these bits that go around her neck are fairly thick. Goes back up on that side, and it goes back up on this side. And then there's a little vent, like the ones up here. There's a vent here. And then the same on the opposite side. And then just in here, near the arm, there's a little section of the green glowiness. Actually, look at this. So this bit's green and glowy. This bit's green and glowy. And this bit's green and glowy. Okay. Well, no, we're almost out of time. All right, so let's just quickly do her cannon. She's got a big circle on the side, right here near the elbow. Big oval, I should say. With a smaller oval inside there. And then we have a green section and another green section. There's a gap in between each one of these. I think there's 4 going in, but you can see 3. And then she's got little bits down here. One there and one there. There, this is sort of a line running down the middle of the cannon. There is a big fin on this one. Like that. And there's a circle like that one on this side too, so you might just see a bit of a curve. As we get close to the ends, Peter, once we do this cannon, we'll finish up. So once we get towards the cannon at the end, then it's going to come in a bit. And then straighten up to the blaster end, hole, the firing end. A couple little curves in here. There is a line running down it too that goes from here up the angle through those and up. What's that? And that is sort of the kind of, this is the opposite of that one. It's pretty much the same. We've got the circle there. Edge of the thing there. And her hand comes up. But yeah, that's about all we've got time for today. That wasn't bad. We did pretty well on that one. Just the legs we didn't do. So yeah, that's it for today. We are done. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I'm here. All right, everyone. Do you like this? Looks pretty cool. Cannon. Yeah.
So I'll show you again just before I can spin my camera. That is what we were drawing. So we drew that much of it. We didn't
Yeah.
do it.
Haven't got time for the legs and the whole thing.
Yeah. So if you do want to Google that yourself, type in Samus Aram, SAMUSARAN, and she's from a game called Metroid. I don't know if there's anything. Oh, there it is. There it says Metroid. That's the game she's from. I don't know who that girl was, but yeah, she's a cool character. If you're into girl characters, but yeah, that's it for today.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we will have a class 6:15 every week until the school holiday.
How many more weeks we got till school holidays?
So this is
This
week
week
6. We got 4 more weeks.
6 of 10. Yeah. Okay.
Mm,
All right.
yeah. We are staying at home though. So
Like, looks like Abdul was just saying 7 weeks. Or it's week
6 or
7.
7 weeks. Yeah, something like that. But we
Yeah.
got 4 more weeks in terms of classes. This is I think number 6. All right, everyone. I'm going to unmute everyone to say goodbye to Mr. Evan.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.